Anybody notice how Elon Musk seems to be everywhere all at once? Having a big splash with his friend Donald Trump, our future president. So this is Lydia with the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. And on this channel, I often like to read the charts of famous people because I think it helps us to better understand our own charts and our own lives. So welcome. If this is something you're curious or about, interested in, please subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. We've got lots coming up for 2025 and a lot of celebrity, famous people, 2025 forecasts so that we can see some of these big players in our world, what their year ahead is going to be like. I do find it very interesting how Elon Musk suddenly jumped on the campaign trail and has had a very large presence in the media. It feels like a heightened amount this particular year. So it sparked my interest and I was like, let's see what's going on. I'll put the link below. This is an old video I did in the early days of when I was putting videos out. So I don't know how great the video is. I mean, the content's good, but quality, not so sure about. Anyway, so let's take a look at Elon Musk. This is a very interesting character in the grand play of life. Right? It seems like these are the characters that we have been presented with. And he reminds me a bit of a modern day Howard Hughes, right? This is a guy who is extremely innovative, inventive, creative, a mastermind. And he is the type of person that is very organized and he likes to have things all his ducks in a row. And with all of that, he has a tendency to be a stubborn person. He's got his view of things, and that's how it is. And he's also likely to have issues with his family. Family is supportive, but then there's other aspects of the situation with family where it can be troublesome. He's also somebody that has a very strong work ethic. Interestingly enough, he's kind of somebody that would be more likely to withhold spending money than to lavishly spend it. For instance, I saw something recently that said that he doesn't even own a home, right? And then another article that came out that said that he had just bought a massive compound for all of his baby mamas and his children. I think we're up to 11. Maybe there's 12 by the time this is filmed. I don't know. Anyway, so he's bought this compound for them all to live in. It's kind of an interesting concept. I think he wants his children to all be raised together. Don't know how the mamas feel about that. But this is somebody that his path to success isn't really some magic 8-ball. It's mostly around the fact the guy works hard. He stays the course. He's organized. He's innovative. He's creative. And he's got all the mojo to get the job done. So, in addition to that, this is somebody who comes off as self-centered and aloof. This is somebody who is a natural leader. This is not someone that likes to be told what to do in any way, shape, or form. I mean, look at the audacity he had, the way that he went after buying Twitter. You know, when you have amassed, I would imagine, that much money, you probably are able to say, hey, I can buy Twitter. I can and I can fight for these things, and if I lose, I lose. He's got nothing to lose when you have that much money. So Elon Musk, his 4 pillars are a yin metal pig, the month of yang wood horse, the day of yang wood monkey, and the hour of yin fire rabbit. And you can see this person is such a monkey. Monkeys are problem solvers. They're people who think outside of the box. They've got a great sense of humor, even if nobody's getting the joke. This is somebody who definitely makes something like SpaceX. This is the guy that could possibly get us into space when the planet Earth is no longer hospitable, for instance. This is somebody who loves to have his hands in a bunch of different things. From Twitter, which is now X, to SpaceX, to Tesla, to all the things he's got his hands in. So, yeah. He's somebody that is very independent, a natural leader. And when you look at his 5 elements, he is, he's born on the day of Yang Wood. So that makes him obviously a wood person. And so from that element, we read the rest of his chart. Okay. For instance, we see that his month is Yang Earth or Yang Wood horse, so that we know his father and he are the same element, which means that they have so much in common. He might even look like his dad. There's a lot of camaraderie here. Whereas his mom, being fire, is his action. That's what he puts out into the world. So the mom shows up as something that it's not a nurturing quality for him. In fact, his mom is really about wealth. She's about making sure he had all the things to support him in his life. And also that she probably is the one that motivated him to be innovative, to be creative, to think outside of the box, to be his unique self. She kind of comes off as a bit of a rebel in the way that he perceives her. This is where family astrology is fascinating. I'll put a link below if you're interested in doing a family reading. It's a really cool way because he, as a Yang Wood person, his astrology for his family is very specific to him. If you're wondering why your relationship with a parent is really divisive and problematic, chances are that your parent has, or your sibling, or your loved one, that you're married to, partnered to, is looking for something very different from you. And so that's why it just doesn't work. Ashton Kutcher, I'm going to be doing his chart this week, is another one. He and Mila have a very different approach to relationship. And so I wonder about the longevity of their relationship, especially given the stress that's going on. Anyway, so we then can see that Elon is born on the day of Yang Wood monkey. The monkey is Yang metal. This is an opposition. This shows that the women that he gets involved with are his challenge. I've spoken a lot about this recently with some of the charts that we've read. I believe I'm thinking specifically of Martha Stewart. But, for some of us, we come into this life and their biggest lesson, our hardest relationships are the ones that we deal with our romantic life. Within this, there is money and infidelity. There is kind of something like possibly a spiritual connection. It can also be somebody that he is looking to be inspired from, to learn from. I mean, after all, the guy is a sponge for wisdom and knowledge. But ultimately, the biggest feeling that you get with this is that his romantic relationships will be his greatest challenge. It is not an easy path. Now, his career, the hour that you're born shows your career and your children. Now, for him, his sons come up exactly like his mother, his relationship with her. There is this feeling that these boys are going to be very innovative. They're going to be creative. They're going to be active. They're going to be rebels, rebellious nature. That's how he sees them. He sees his daughters, on the other hand, as being kind of a shadow to him. They show up as, the rabbit is yin wood. So this is like the shadow to him. It also could suggest some harm to him, as in the relationship is harmed. And to recognize his hour is in void, which is really interesting for someone that is this successful. Why do I say that? Because the void brings instability. It's like, first of all, it really speaks of a father who is going to be either emotionally or physically separated from his children. This doesn't feel like the kind of man that is going to have a really bonded, meaningful relationship with all of his kids. Maybe with one or two, I don't know, but this is the astrology. Now, for his career, being in void is interesting because it does, again, shows instability. It shows that there's a lot of moving components here. His job is very much about him playing different roles. Let me be an engineer. No, let's go and I'll be this now. Oh, I'm going to be this. How about that? How about a political campaigner? Hey, maybe his next stop is the White House. Maybe he'll have a seat in Trump's presidency. Maybe he'll play a role. Transportation? Just kidding. Anyway. But his work is all about being different, being a rebel, being a Renaissance man, if you want, being someone that does things in a really different way. And that's beautiful. I welcome rebellious people. I myself am one. Maybe you are. Because when you rebel against the norm, you break out of the box of what's been told to you. And you get out of that story to live a brighter, more imaginative life. That's where we get invention. That's where we get art and music and incredible things to read. All right, so his life pillar is interesting because his life pillar mirrors his day pillar except for the stem. Instead of being yang wood, it's yang fire, the other enemy of metal. So his life really speaks of somebody who loves what he does, pure and simple. Just loves what he does. He came into this life to really enjoy everything he's doing. The monkey, again, speaks of somebody that is going to go through many different iterations of his career. He is going to wear many hats, and he will be challenged through it all. He will face critics, bullies, judges. He will face all kinds of obstacles and challenges and backlash, and yet this is his life path. His life path also speaks of a man who will have many lovers, and he will always have a undercurrent of flowing revenue. This is also a life that is a spiritual journey. I don't know that I've heard him speak much about his faith or his spiritual world, that part of his life. But he is also someone that loves to learn. He is curious. How does this work? So monkey to ask that. How does this work? Could we make it like this? How about if we try that? So now we're going to look at his career. All right, so we've looked at his career. Now we're going to look at his luck cycle that he's currently in. We all go through 10-year luck cycles, and then we're going to look at his 2025. So hang with me. Since 2018 until 2028, he is in a period ruled by a yin earth ox. And the ox is yin earth. So this is a lot of yin earth. Yin earth is all about what Elon controls. If you think of yang wood as a tree stands very big and tall, and it falls onto the earth, and in covering the earth, smothers it, right? And so that is where we find so this period of his life is tremendous success. This is a huge amount of money, ginormous wealth. I just wanted to add that yang wood people tend to be very confident, bold, courageous, tough, straightforward, and have a very strong sense of self. That definitely sounds like our guy. Now, all this yin earth is not just about money. It's about moving. It's about travel. It's about being on the move. Okay. It is also about legal matters. Whether he's being sued, whether he's suing someone else, whether he has documents that need to be signed, anything like that. And also politics and government. Look at that. Tucked into that ox is government and politics, along with all the legal stuff. Then the yin metal tucked into the ox is speaking specifically of his career, speaking of his career as like rooted down in this time of his life. It highlights his relationship to daughters. It's very much a very active time for having a serious romantic relationship. And since 2018, he's had a few. So, when we look at the elements, we know that he as a wood person is very strong at about 35%. What nourishes him is weak at 10%. His output of fire is also strong at 27%, and that's the pattern of the chart. It's great that the wood is strong and the pattern is strong because that keeps you alive, right? We want the pattern of our chart to be in a good, stable place, and certainly your own element. Earth is weak. Interesting, right? This is where he amasses money. And metal is balanced at 15%. This is an interesting thing because sometimes when you have a weak element sandwiched between two elements that are doing well, it doesn't come off as quite as weak. But that being said, the presence of all this earth is really giving him exactly what he needs. The risk here, though, is that both his wood is weakened here and his fire, because they both have to, to put energy into this. But overall, this seems to be a really abundant time of Elon Musk's life. Now, where are we? Let's look then at the fact that so much of his life work is focused on the tech industry, space travel, engineering, and inventing. All of these things are very metal. Remembering that all our activities and career paths are related to an element. This is why sometimes you could be in a job that feels like it's completely burning you out, while another job feels so directly nourishing to you. Okay. So the fact that he has gotten involved in politics and government is a good thing for him because of that earth being a almost missing element. So that is an interesting path for him to be taking. Now, the yin wood snake of 2025 for him forms a semi-fire trio with the horse in his month surging wood into his life. So the surge of fire is surging in his chart, is a call to action in 2025. He will be a lot, if it's possible, even more active than he was this year. Also to note that he's born in the year of the pig. That pig is the enemy of the snake. This is a battle of fire and water. But his water is really too weak. And the semi-fire trio cancels out the conflict. Remember, friends, a semi-trio and absolutely a full trio of any element, if that element is then in conflict in the chart, it negates the conflict. So that is a helpful thing. So this is funding his support. Then we have the fact that he is born in the day of a monkey, and that's his life path. This is not good. This is part of the fire penalty. And in February 2025, it will be a full fire penalty with the tiger. This is true for many people who have this signature in their chart of monkey, tiger, snake in the year of the snake. So the good thing working for him is the semi-fire trio. The second thing working for him is that this luck cycle he's in is one of his nobleman stars. We all have two, depending on our element. Now, your nobleman star is like an angel. So from 2018 to 2028, Elon Musk is in literally a heavenly place. As he imagines it, so it will be. Literally like that. If he comes up against an obstacle, there are angels protecting him. It is a signature time of his life, absolute peak of his life. So, all this being said, where I see real issue for him is the fact that even with all the protection and the benefits and the positive aspects for 2025, he has a direct hit with the snake as yang fire to his monkey. And this, my friends, feels like a massive shakeup to his career, to his romantic relationships. Yeah, he needs to be very careful. And this also not only could impact him with his career and his standing in his career, this can also highlight some hidden health issue coming to light. So these are things that we'll keep an eye on as we get into next year, and certainly looking at what's going on with him in February. That is going to be really a dangerous month for him as far as health and safety and his financial standing. We'll see what's going to happen. So that is my read for Elon Musk. I think this is a very, very interesting time of his life. I think a lot of good things are going on for him for sure, all the way into 2028. This coming year, 2025, is going to feel like a bump in the road for sure for him. And we'll see how this plays out. And until next time, friends, please be well.